Throughout 2016 and 2017, it was hard to fathom why Apple, Motorola, and other smartphone makers were so eager to drop headphone jacks. There weren't any huge leaps in battery life or other features to make it worth losing the most widely supported port ever made. And when the Pixel 2 lost it last year, I figured all was lost. Even OnePlus, perhaps the most geek-friendly brand out there, gave up on the headphone jack with the 6T this year. But now it's at least clear why the entire industry is jumping on this bandwagon. Everyone wants to make bezel-less, all-screen smartphones. Just look at the Pixel 3 XL, OnePlus's phone, and the LG V40, which all launched this year. And even Apple made a more affordable all-screen phone with the iPhone XR, after helping to kick off the trend with the iPhone X last year. Without the headphone jack, there's more internal room to cram in all the hardware necessary to push screens all the way to the edges of phones. Samsung, the biggest headphone jack holdout, kept the 3.5mm port on the China-bound Galaxy A8s. And while recent case leaks suggest that the upcoming Galaxy S10 will keep the jack, it's unclear how long Samsung can keep shoving it into their flagships. Few other companies have enough engineering resources to make room for a 3.5mm port while also trying to remove camera notches and screen bezels. Sorry headphone jack fans, there's no turning back now. And to be clear, I'm saying this with heavy resignation. I'm mostly using wireless headphones with my iPhone X, the Libratone Track Plus, and a variety of noise-canceling cans, but not a day goes by where I don't miss that little port. I feel a pang of regret every time I'm hanging out with friends and can't easily plug my phone into older speakers or an aging car sound system. And yes, I have several 3.5mm to Lightning dongles, but inevitably they're never around when I need them. Honestly, it's also truly upsetting that Apple isn't even including those adapters with new iPhones. But at least the rise of all-screen smartphones is something, while we gained nothing by losing headphone jacks over the last few years. Apple never gave a specific reason for why it made the move in the iPhone 7, aside from Phil Schiller saying it took courage. That phone even kept the fat screen bezels from the iPhone 6s. Motorola, meanwhile, said it needed to dump the jack to make the Moto Z so thin. It was an attractive phone, but the trade-off just wasn't worth it. When Google's Pixel 2 arrived, a more useful reason for dumping the jack emerged. Google's product chief told TechCrunch that it was all about establishing a mechanical design path for the future. And that's likely what Apple was doing with the iPhone 7 as well, except they were far more glib about it. Similarly, OnePlus co-founder Carl Pei has said that removing the headphone jack gave them more room to add better hardware to the 6T. It has a larger battery than the previous model, as well as a fingerprint sensor right under the screen. He also said that 59% of their customers were already using wireless headphones this year, so the transition away from the port is less painful than it would have been a few years ago. It might be hard for wired headphone fanatics to stomach the move away from the 3.5mm port just for prettier smartphones, but at least it's more palatable than it was a few years ago. One of the most glaring issues early on was that you couldn't listen to music with a USB-C or Lightning dongle while also charging your phone. Today, wireless charging is more ubiquitous, and some third-party accessories also let you both charge and plug in 3.5mm devices at the same time. Bluetooth headphones have also come a long way, delivering better audio quality, reception, and battery life than ever before. Surprisingly enough, after years of so-so wireless noise-canceling headphones, Sony's WH-1000 XM3s are currently my favorite. So dear audiophiles, it's time to move on. We finally have a reason for losing the headphone jack: gorgeous, full-screen smartphones. For years, I just wanted a reason for losing the headphone jack. Now we finally have one.